Welcome to our deep dive into the world of internal auditing. Now, I realize that might not sound like the most thrilling way to spend your time. In fact, when most people hear internal auditing, their eyes probably glaze over faster than a plate of week-old donuts. But, and hear me out on this, it's actually far more important and, dare I say, fascinating than you might think. Today, we'll explore the key areas that internal auditors focus on to ensure organizations run smoothly and efficiently. Because behind the scenes of every seemingly well-oiled machine, there's a team of dedicated professionals making sure the gears turn without grinding to a halt. Think of them like the unsung heroes of the corporate world, the guardians of good governance. Okay, I'll stop with the dramatic metaphors, but seriously, these folks play a crucial role in maintaining the integrity, efficiency, and yes, even the very survival of organizations big and small. So buckle up, because we're about to demystify the often overlooked world of internal auditing and understand why it's so vital in today's complex business landscape. First up, we're tackling the cornerstone of internal auditing: financial controls and reporting. Now, this isn't just about making sure the numbers add up, although that's certainly a big part of it. It's about ensuring that the financial information flowing through an organization is accurate, reliable, and frankly, trustworthy. Think of internal auditors as financial detectives, meticulously examining accounting systems, scrutinizing processes, and sniffing out any whiff of error or worse, fraud. They're the ones asking the tough questions, digging into the details, and making sure that the financial picture being painted is a true reflection of reality. Because let's face it, a company with shaky financials is a company teetering on the edge of disaster. Next on our agenda, the ever-important and often headache-inducing realm of compliance. Because in today's highly regulated world, organizations aren't just accountable to their shareholders or stakeholders, they're also beholden to a complex web of laws, regulations, and industry standards. And that's where our internal audit heroes come in, donning their metaphorical compliance capes and ensuring that their organization isn't just towing the line, they're practically tap dancing on it. From meticulously reviewing internal policies and procedures to painstakingly verifying adherence to contractual obligations, internal auditors are the guardians of good corporate citizenship. Let's face it, the business world is a bit like a high-stakes game of chess, with organizations constantly needing to anticipate and mitigate potential threats. That's where risk management comes in, and you guessed it, internal auditors are right there in the thick of it, acting as strategic advisors and risk whisperers. They meticulously identify and assess the full spectrum of risks, from operational hiccups and financial pitfalls to strategic blunders and reputational disasters. And it's not just about pointing out potential problems, they also help organizations develop and implement robust risk management frameworks to navigate the inevitable uncertainties of the business landscape. Chapter 4, Operational Efficiency and Effectiveness, Streamlining for Success. Now we move from the high-stakes world of risk management to the nitty-gritty of operational efficiency and effectiveness. Because let's be honest, even the most well-intentioned organization can fall prey to inefficiencies, bottlenecks, and resource wastage. Internal auditors, with their keen eyes for detail and passion for process improvement, step in to analyze operations, identify areas for streamlining, and recommend ways to optimize resource allocation. They're like the efficiency ninjas of the corporate world, silently eliminating waste, improving workflows, and helping organizations operate at peak performance. Chapter 5, Information Technology, IT, Systems and Controls, Securing the Digital Frontier. In today's hyper-connected digital age, where data is the new gold and cyber threats lurk around every corner, ensuring the security and integrity of IT systems is paramount. And you know who's on the front lines of this digital battleground? You guessed it, our ever-vigilant internal auditors. Armed with their virtual shields and digital swords, they rigorously assess the effectiveness and security of IT infrastructure, scrutinize controls over data accuracy and protection, and ensure that cybersecurity measures are up to snuff. Because in a world where data breaches can cripple companies and tarnish reputations, a robust IT audit function is no longer a luxury. It's an absolute necessity. Chapter 6: Fraud, Prevention and Detection, outsmarting the corporate criminals. Let's be honest, no one likes to talk about fraud, but the unfortunate reality is that it's a persistent threat in the business world. From accounting shenanigans and embezzlement schemes to bribery scandals and financial statement manipulation, fraud can take many forms, and its impact can be devastating. But fear not, because our internal audit superheroes are hot on the trail of these corporate criminals, working tirelessly to prevent and detect fraudulent activities. They meticulously identify areas susceptible to fraud, assess the effectiveness of anti-fraud controls, and, when necessary, conduct thorough investigations to get to the bottom of any suspected wrongdoing. Chapter 7: Governance and organizational processes, the foundation of ethical and effective operations. We're now moving beyond the realms of numbers and controls to explore the less tangible but equally crucial aspects of governance and organizational processes. Because at its core, good governance is about ensuring that an organization is run ethically, responsibly, and in the best interests of all its stakeholders. Internal auditors play a vital role in evaluating the effectiveness of an organization's governance framework, assessing the strength of its ethical culture, and reviewing the effectiveness of its internal communication channels. They're like the ethical compasses and organizational therapists of the corporate world, guiding organizations towards a path of responsible and sustainable success. So far, we've explored the what of internal auditing, the key areas of focus. Now let's delve into the how, the meticulous process of audit planning and execution. Because while internal auditors might not wear lab coats or conduct experiments, their work is no less rigorous or systematic. It all starts with a well-defined audit plan, outlining the scope, objectives, and methodology for each engagement. Then comes the fieldwork, the hands-on part where auditors gather evidence, conduct interviews, perform testing, and meticulously document their findings. It's a process that requires a unique blend of skepticism, objectivity, and, of course, a healthy dose of attention to detail. Now, you might think that once an audit is complete, the internal auditor's job is done. But in reality, it's just the beginning of a continuous cycle of improvement. Because what good are insightful findings and well-crafted recommendations if they're simply filed away and forgotten? That's where follow-up and monitoring come in, ensuring that audit recommendations are taken seriously and that corrective actions are implemented effectively. Internal auditors become agents of accountability, tracking progress, identifying roadblocks, and working collaboratively with management to drive meaningful change within the organization. And finally, we arrive at the last, but certainly not least, principle of effective internal auditing: continuous improvement. Because in a world that's constantly changing, with new technologies emerging, regulations evolving, and risks becoming ever more complex, internal audit functions can't afford to rest on their laurels. They need to embrace a mindset of continuous learning and development, staying abreast of emerging trends, seeking out best practices, and constantly refining their skills and methodologies. It's about fostering a culture of innovation and adaptability within the internal audit function, ensuring that it remains relevant, effective, and equipped to face the challenges of tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the scope of internal auditing. We've covered a lot of ground, from the intricacies of financial controls to the importance of ethical governance, from the meticulousness of audit execution to the need for continuous improvement. But the key takeaway is this: see, effective internal auditing is not just a box to be ticked or a compliance burden to be endured. It's a vital function that underpins the success, integrity, and sustainability of any organization. It's about asking the tough questions, challenging the status quo, and providing independent and objective assurance that things are being done right. So the next time you hear the words internal auditing, don't just reach for the nearest pillow to stifle your yawn. Instead, remember the crucial role these professionals play in safeguarding our institutions, promoting ethical conduct, and ensuring that organizations operate with integrity, efficiency, and a commitment to excellence.